First, I'd first like to get your thoughts on the development so far.
I think we should give it to the regulators. In the last 14 years, nothing has changed in terms of capitalization in the industry. And under a risk-based supervision, the capital element is a very critical element. So it's quite understandable that over the years, this has not changed. The regulators, they tried last year in 2018 to make a change, but it didn't work out. So, but this time around, the difference is huge. For life, moving from 2 billion to 8 billion, for non-life from 3 to 10, for composite from 5 to 18, and for insurance from 10 to 20 billion. That's quite huge. But the truth of the matter is, Nigeria is a land of opportunity when it comes to insurance, because the level of market penetration is extremely low. The per capita of insurance in Nigeria is just about $6. That's about 2,000 naira. Compared to, the rest of Africa, especially countries like South Africa, Morocco, Tunisia, and all those countries who have seen the benefits of insurance. Organizations like Alliance, like Prudential, and all these other organizations, they are taking position, not because of today, but certainly Nigeria has a lot of potentials.
We've seen quite a lot of them come in recent times. But I'd like you to speak, just to make some clarifications here. What is the difference between using the minimum paid-up capital as the requirement, as opposed to in the normal recapitalization?
Well, the minimum paid-up capital will not be sufficient because last year the regulators they intended going in the direction of tier-based, so that we have some minimum level. But this time around, after assessing the economy, after assessing the changes, the inflation and all the rest of that, the regulators came to the conclusion that there is a need for this recapitalization to take place.
All right, but let me understand, because when you mentioned earlier the insurance spaces, the penetration level is still very low. But I'm trying to understand what miracle you're expecting to happen in 13 months.
Yeah, the truth of the matter is we have to look at the total picture. Quite a lot of downsizes. The downsides in the insurance industry today, quite a lot. If you look at the valuation on the capital market, you will discover that that is not reflecting the level of assets for insurance operators in Nigeria. And of course, in terms of contribution to the GDP, which is quite low, I mean, is less than 1%. It's actually lower than what Nollywood is contributing to GDP. But the truth of the matter is that is seen more as opportunity, because the challenges have been there. But we know quite well that Nigeria has no option but to do whatever it takes to join the rest of the world.
But were there industry-wide consultations before this new minimum paid capital requirement was reached?
Well, I would not be able to say yes or no to that. But the fact is the market has been expecting that this will come up. Okay. It's very clear that it will come up.
All right, then, but let's look at this from a point of view of impact and how it will change the landscape in there. Are we now likely to see more mergers? Because do you foresee that the insurance companies in Nigeria will be able to meet up those new requirements?
Yeah, that's a difficult question to answer, because in 2018, when the regulators initially came with the tier base, everybody was expecting a lot of M&A activities, but we didn't see that. The few companies which succeeded in moving up their capitalization did not go through that particular route. I don't know what is going to happen now, but certainly it's one of the options. But I foresee more operators in the industry attracting capital, which is quite difficult. First of all, because of the returns. Insurance is one of the sectors in financial services. And in terms of returns, it's been extremely low. So in terms of tracking, we don't have much to sell to the foreign investors. Nevertheless, for organizations like the ones I've mentioned, they are taking position because this is a place to be, when the future comes.
So let's look at the positives now. Do you think this move by NICOM is more or less helping to protect the policyholders in Nigeria?
I believe so, very strongly so, because when you recapitalize, you make the organizations to be stronger. Of course, we have strong organizations, but the regulators, they are expecting those who are carrying the insurance license to be so enamored, and they have the capacity to pay claims and ensure that they are operating, at a level that is comparable to any other insurance company, any part of the world.
All right, but let's look at this from the point of view of improving insurance penetration. And then let's look at, do you think some other policy directives should have accompanied this decision? Because when you look at the insurance space, for example, you tell you the penetration is low, Nigerians are not doing it, but there are some parts of insurance that could be mandatory, and maybe a policy trust could have helped to make this move more softer for insurance companies.
Absolutely. And I will say the prior regulators before now, they've already enacted some policies in that respect. I'm talking about mandatory insurance, which is operating, but certainly that is an opportunity that could be widened. We could get better opportunities, and of course there is a need for a lot of education. People need to understand the need for insurance, because if the rule of the thumb is, if you buy an asset, then you should be prepared to spend about 10% to protect that asset. But that particular culture is not in existence in the country for that. So that's an area where we need to do a lot of work.
All right, because I'm not still looking futuristic here, and I'm still looking at the possibilities of M&As coming in there. But now we know we have a new federal competition and consumer protection commission that's just coming on board. You know, the act just came in January, and and they're going to be regulating M&A activity going forward. How do you see activity, you know, on this space coming with the possibility of M&As coming in?
Yeah, we have to begin to look at what is the big picture. What are the benefits you will confer upon a combined entities compared with when you were on the standalone? And there are quite a lot of opportunities. First of all, there will be a combination of the clientele base. And secondly, the issue of capitalization will come up and make it stronger. And of course, I also believe that once you become strong, you'll be able to attract businesses, especially in aviation and oil and gas, that require quite a lot of capital.
So might we see more, like, say, people from the non-life and life kind of merging together?
Absolutely, it's possible, because being a composite, you know, for now, life is growing faster than non-life. A lot of opportunities, because you can see a lot of stability, then accumulating huge capital for investment. That is from life end. So it makes it very attractive for organizations like Law Union and Rock Insurance, which is just a general insurance.
Okay.
I believe we'll see more of that.
All right, then. Thank you so much for your time on the show.